We are looking at removable discontinuities. So let's go ahead and attack this first problem. It's telling us that f is continuous for all real numbers, and they want us to find the function's output when we plug in -1 as an input. Okay, so right away we can kind of see that there's some factoring that we can probably do here. So let's go ahead and rewrite it. There's a common e to the x. So this would become x plus 1 over the e to the x is in common. So e to the x gets pulled out. What's left? We got an x plus 1 left. And one of my tricks is I just like distributing them back in just to check. And if I multiplied it back in, I would get the original. All right. So we do have a common e to the x on top and on bottom. Those reduce out. And our final answer is 1 over e to the x. And then we want to evaluate it by plugging in -1 right here. So this now becomes, and this is f of -1 is what we're doing here. So this is 1 over e to the -1. A negative exponent means reciprocal, so this flips it back to the top. All of this turns into e. All right. So all we're doing is we're looking at where there's an issue, trying to factor it out and plug in that issue area. Next one, same kind of strategy. So we are looking, it says h is continuous for all x's greater than -12. -3 is greater than -12. So it's just letting us know there's these parameters. Find h of -3. Well, we can't just plug it in. We would get 0 over 0. So let's go ahead and see if we can't factor something. Do you remember when we have a square root? And usually we will want to multiply by the conjugate to get rid of it. So this would be the square root of x plus 12. I'll just rewrite it. Minus 3 over x plus 3. And we're multiplying by the conjugate of the square root. So that would be the square root of x plus 12 plus 3 divided by, has to be the same, x plus 12 plus 3. Remember, conjugate is just that switched middle sign for the binomial. All right. We want to make sure we keep it on the bottom. We don't want to distribute it out here. And it's everything being multiplied, everything being multiplied. Okay, so when we multiply these out, it's a difference of squares. So that would be this squared minus this squared. So that's going to be our x plus 12. Square root of squared goes away. Minus the 3 and the 3 squared make 9. All over x plus 3. And we got all that other stuff going on too. Square root x plus 12 plus 2. All right, so it looks like we're just plugging in values here for these. X, that turns into a plus 3. So this goes into a plus 3. So we got x plus 3, those reduce out. And we want to know h of -3, now that I've canceled out our issue, 1 over the square root sign. -3 is our x plus 12 plus 2. All right. Did I do something wrong? That should be a 3. Careful. It had to match, right? That should be a 3. That should be a 3. Now it matches. Good. All right. So the -3 plus 12 is 9. So we got 1 over 9 plus 3 equals 1 over 12. All right. And 9, square root of 9. Going a little too fast. Square root of 9. Good thing about having multiple choice. Square root of 9 is 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. 1 over 6. And I got positive 1 over 6. All right, let's see. All right, so the technique is you want to cancel out the issue, and then you can plug in your value. The next one's probably the same. All right, we got a piecewise function here. So let's just evaluate it real quick. Let's see. H is continuous for all real numbers. What is the value of K? What is the value of K? Okay, so this is just kind of set up in a different format. When X equals 0, what is this answer? All right, so basically we're just doing the same trick as before. We can kind of see, I'll just write it out, might as well. A little bit of a different format so we don't throw ourselves off. The X and the X cancel. And we have 3 over e to the x. When I plug in 0 right here, that's going to be our issue spot. What is this at 0? I get 3 over e to the 0. Anything to the 0 is always 1. 3 over 1 is equal to 3. Let's just verify. I know it's a little bit structured a little bit strangely, but basically we're plugging in 0 to find the value of k in this one. Anything different on this one? It looks the same kind of format, just has that different kind of structure for the piecewise.